Most of us leave education with our brains full of knowledge and hope and our wallets full of debt. But don't worry, the next stage is getting into work, and you might be thinking, how do I find the right job for me, and how do I know which is the right first career pathway? Well, don't worry, grab a pen and paper and let's get straight into it. Hello and welcome to Max Talks, and on this channel I like to talk about personal finance, job searching and personal development. So if you like the sound of any of those things, why not press the like button and hit subscribe if you enjoy what you see. So to figure out exactly what job is right for you, you can ask yourself a few key questions. Number one, what are you passionate about? What things get you excited? This doesn't necessarily have to be about what jobs and what things get you excited from a work perspective, because you might not have even thought of that. I mean, you know, if you think of like accountancy, the stereotype is that they're very boring, but I have met some exciting accountants, believe it or not. Jokes aside though, if you think about the things that you like to do in your spare time outside of work, try and see if there's any careers which relate to that. So for example, if you like drawing, pretty simple, become an artist. Or if you like making music, you could consider doing something creative. Or like you could be like a radio jingle, like play to your strengths and do the things which you're really passionate about. And this will help you to find an industry, to zone in on a particular industry that might be worth researching. And that's the key thing here. It might be good at this stage to do a mind map on your piece of paper and to figure out the things that you would do. So I guess a really easy way to do this is you could spend one day or a week or a couple of days and just do whatever you like. Do anything you want, wherever your brain takes you, wherever your body takes you.
Do it! Just do it!
If these are the things that you do for pleasure and for enjoyment, then see if there's a way to make it into a job. Many of us, like for me, I personally like watching a lot of YouTube videos and I love playing sport. So if there's anything, and also I like really helping people. So I've tried to combine that in my job and, you know, in terms of like being really active. So, I mean, many of us like watching Netflix. I mean, not me personally, or watching YouTube, or, you know, whatever it might be. See if you can turn those things into a job, because the likelihood is if you have a passion for film, or if you have a passion for writing or magazines, you can turn that into a job in that industry. The second question to ask yourself is, what are your best skills? So, depending on the age that you are, you may or may not have thought about this already. If you know what skills employers are after, I'll put a few on screen here, but you have like communication, teamwork, organisation, leadership, resilience, emotional intelligence. Those are just a few. There's loads and loads and loads. And I'll also put a link in the description to some key employability skills which employers are looking for right now, and an article which will tell you all about that. So one activity that you could do in order to identify your key skills is to look at that list and kind of tick off where you think that you fit the bill. Secondly, if you're struggling for that, you could simply do a little mind map. You could draw yourself in the middle if you want, or you could just write yourself, and then literally do spiders off it, saying like which skills that you have and where you think that you're best. And if you struggle with this, ask someone who knows you well, maybe a family, a friend, or a teacher, depending on where you're at. Ask someone that knows you well, and they should be able to help you to identify those key skills. This will then help you to zone in from the industry, so into maybe a particular job within that industry. So for example, as I'm a personal finance channel, partially, say you wanted to work in finance, you identified that you love money and that you like having money and that you wanted to learn more about that. You've decided that you want to be in the finance industry. Maybe your key skills are that you're very organized, you're meticulous, you're really good with data and numeracy and analysis, and maybe you are a really good communicator. So all of these skills put together, I mean, you can imagine it a bit like a lottery. You put it into a drawer and a ball, and then you pick out your amazing job at the end of it. With that kind of set of skills, maybe you could consider something like analysis, market analysis, or within a company, or as an economist. There's several different career pathways, and I think that's one of the key things as well. You know, don't necessarily close down your options straight away. Keep your options open, but it's good to have a few different directions or career pathways in mind so that you can begin to build the experience and your skills and knowledge towards those particular jobs. The third question that you can ask yourself is if you have any kind of limits, geographically, ethically, religious beliefs, whatever it might be. Is there anything that would limit particular industries, sectors? Maybe if you are particularly environmentally minded, then you would probably avoid like a tobacco company or like a mining company or something like that. But obviously this is completely dependent on you as a person, and this is why it's important for you to do something along with me. You know, on your little mind map, it should, if you answer these 3 questions, you should at the end of it have a good idea of maybe roughly what you want to do. What do you do next with all this information? So now that you've got all these answers, what you can do is start looking into, you could do a Google search, you could look on different job searching websites such as Indeed, Reed, Monster Jobs. You can sign up for different job newsletters. You could ask your friends and family and network. There's loads of different ways that you could ask, but maybe you could even just search for like jobs with and then XYZ your skills. Or you could look at the jobs within the industry that you think you might be interested in. Again, I'll leave a link in the description to a list of industries in case you're wondering about what industries are actually out there, because there are such a diverse range of jobs out there, and you'll never be able to figure it out unless you do some research. So once you've kind of done some research on the industry, you should be able to pick out some specific jobs within that, and you can look at the different skills that are listed on the person's specification and on the job description. You can see whether you think that would be a good fit for you. The next stage after this is to build your experience. So this could be by getting some work experience in the industry and in the job that you're particularly interested in, or just like volunteering to do something. This may or may not be possible depending on what the industry is. But the quicker, it has 2 main advantages. One, you get a proper flavour for whether you actually like that particular job or not. And also you get to build your experience towards getting onto that career ladder, if you like. Alternatively, you could do a quiz on BuzzFeed and it will probably tell you what sort of bread you are or something like that. So those are all of the kind of tips. I hope that they were really helpful, and I hope that you've managed to get a job in mind. Let me know in the comments what sort of jobs that you think that you'd be good at, and the things that the notes that you've made, if you've made any at all. If you've not, that's totally fine. So on this channel, I like to do a kind of comment of the week to get people involved, get you guys involved. I want some interaction from you. So if you can leave a comment with your favorite animal in the chat, because maybe that's a job interview question at some point if you get lucky. Anyways, I hope that this was helpful. If you did enjoy this one, please feel free to check out another of the videos which will appear on your screen in a minute. Make sure to like the video, hit subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so you get a notification every time I upload, and I will see you next Sunday. And our wallet's full of, oh, it's too big a pause.